Today's focus will be on memberships. And I have Nancy with me on the call. So Nancy, of course, you can ask me any questions as we go along. And thanks, Nancy. And so this is Nancy's site. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to her services page. And under her services page, we have the memberships that we can add, just like we added services before. Now, this is just a place to define the memberships. Okay, Nancy? It doesn't have to be where your customers go. In fact, we have some interesting best practices that I'll establish for you as well, so that if you want, people can add to cart their memberships, people being your pet owners, and also see how their memberships are going if they want to.
Sound
good? So when you log in as the manager of the business, you have memberships here under services. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one. Nancy, can you give me an idea of what kind of memberships you envision, or did you just want me to show you
Well, the thing is, I have a few customers that I offer like smaller. My dogs are acting up.
No problem. Go ahead.
That I offer like 20-minute walks instead of 30-minute walks because they use me 5 days a week.
Okay.
So because it's not offered to everybody, that 20-minute walk.
Only members get it. Is that what you mean?
Well, I guess, yeah, we could say it that way. But it's because originally we had spoken and we had said that it wouldn't be a good idea to put it public because then anybody would have access to the 20-minute walks, and I only wanted to offer it to people who use me 5 days a week.
Okay. Yeah, those are specialty services, not quite part of a membership, although we could work with that. Typically, so a membership is sort of like a gym membership, but pet-centric. The way it works is if somebody gets a membership, they pay you once a month or once every day or once a year or every week. And that gives them access to a discount or completely paid off services. Depends on how you set things up. It also gives them VIP access to other services and products that have nothing to do with the membership, like 15% discount as a grooming. I know you don't do grooming, but I'm just giving an example, just because they happen to be a member.
Okay.
Okay. Typical implementations are, just the simple ones as an example. They pay you $400 a month or $800. It really depends on the state, interestingly enough. And for that month, each week, they get 3 dog walks. And if they book the dog walk, they're going to see that it's covered by the membership in the estimates, the pricing estimates, for example. And they don't need to get billed for it because it's already paid for. So 3 dog walks every week for that month is an example. And then there's rules that you build into the membership, like let's say one of those weeks they go in and ask for a 4th dog walk. Well, that's not covered by your membership with them. And so you would add rules for that. Do they pay the regular price or some kind of discounted fee? That sort of thing. So typically the memberships are designed for 2 purposes. One is for scale. Actually, it's for scale, so that as you get really, really large as a business, you're going to want to automate as much as you can. And one of those tools is to auto charge your customers regularly, and they can book whatever they want, and the system will know whether they should be extra charged for it or it's covered already, that sort of thing. The other purpose, and it seemed to have self-surfaced just from my anecdotal experience, is that pet owners get this VIP, like a sense of VIP treatment. And so it's pretty powerful. And it's not a package, because packages, we do packages. It's just, the typical credit thing where people track how many credits they have. They underpay for a little bit more service. Like let's say they pay for 10 dog walks or 10 boarding nights or something like that, and they get 11 for it as a package, product.
Promotions.
Promotions, those kind of, that's kind of like 2017, 2018. So memberships is the big deal now. We even have companies that are not even pet centric coming to us and wanting to work with our memberships because it's truly unique. It actually took us quite a few years to build it to where it is today as a completely unique project in pet care. So from that perspective, we create memberships, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of ideas in mind as we go along, but maybe I'll just create one just to show you how it's done, if that's okay with you. So if I add a membership, let's say we use that example that I gave earlier, 3 times walk monthly membership. Okay, something around those lines. I'm just titling it in a certain way so that we can keep track of things. You might want to give it an image, kind of maybe a gold color. Some people call a lot of businesses they name their memberships gold, silver, bronze, that sort of thing.
Or like.
So yeah, it depends. It depends on your personality as a business owner, right? How you want to brand your memberships for your customers. And again, it's not a package; it's a membership. Although a lot of businesses still call it package, it just behaves on a more automated perspective, and you'll see more of that as we go along. So membership renews. Does it renew weekly, daily, yearly? And by the calendar month, on the 1st of the month, or let's say they started on the 15th, today is May the 4th, let's say they started today, May the 4th, should it renew in June the 4th? Or should it just renew on the 1st of the month? And so typically people choose calendar month versus just month like that. It just depends on how you want things to run. And within that month, it could be infinite, unlimited, 0, which means whatever we're about to define as covered by this membership, they can book as many as they want. The membership covers it. Think of that as like an unlimited gym membership or something. But that doesn't make sense in the pet care industry, so we specialize it. We don't want it every month. We want it every week, to be limited to 3 dog walks a week. Otherwise, they're asking you for 7 dog walks 3 times a day, every day, the whole month. Okay, right? You don't want them to take advantage of you like that, and neither would they want to. But I'm sure there would be some. So this is how you would set up per week 3 times something. Okay, that something can be all kinds of things, and we'll get to it, I promise. If you want instead, because you don't know, maybe they have 4 dog walks one week, 5 dog walks another week, and then no dog walks the 3rd week, that sort of thing. So maybe you want to give them more flexibility. So maybe 12 of something per month versus 3 of the something per week. Does that make sense in terms of variations? So there's other options as we go along. If they are starting on this membership halfway through the month, should it cover the stuff from the beginning of the month? This is just an option that applies only to the first month that they're on this thing. Okay, them being the pet owner. Does it auto renew? If they have a credit card on file or an ACH bank transfer set up, it'll just renew itself on that. Just as an aside, most businesses, pet care businesses, have established their customers on the ACH feature versus credit card feature because of the extremely low transaction fee. Okay, because it's renewing anyway, you don't even think about it. Our memberships can be per pet or per client. Okay, and I'm just going to average, let's say $650 per month. They're going to pay you for 3 dog walks. Maybe that's not realistic, but I'm just, doing stuff here because, it's nice to see a large number. If it's per pet, then you can price this, like, let's say the family has 3 dogs or 3 dogs and 2 cats or something like that. What would be the price of the 2nd pet? What would be the price of the 3rd pet? Maybe they're 0, but then the 4th pet comes back up to $300 per month. See what I mean? You have those options. Taxes, depends on your state if you even have taxes. Services. So what do these 3 credits apply to? You see, you or your workers or your pet owner will be making bookings online. They would book online any time of day. I mean, you could be sleeping, they'll be doing it somewhere, potentially 2 o'clock in the morning. The system needs to know that they have a membership, and it needs to know whether the membership covers those items, right? But what are those items? What are those items that are accommodated by these 3 credits? It could be more than one type of service. It's not a package. It's a membership. Just like I would go to a gym and have yoga classes or spinning cycle classes, right? Like you can pick and choose what's actually covered by the gym membership, and therefore you can tier them that way. Anyway, this is a simple dog walking example. I have a category of dog walking services. I can remove which ones I don't want covered, but basically, let's say I want these 2, Monday to Friday private walk, or if it's a group walk book, it'll be covered by one of these credits.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Good.
Now, a little bit more interesting. Week 2, within that month, they have used up 3 and they want a 4th. They go in and book. By default, if they book a group walk or a Monday to Friday private walk, it's not going to have any special pricing. It's just going to assume the ad hoc, standard per diem price. But you can choose to give them a different price too. Maybe something cheaper for each pet. Well, so that would be the extra add-on price if they went outside of the membership that week. See how it's starting to, grow in terms of settings? And then there's more. Often, especially the larger businesses, they say, okay, get this membership and you get 15% off that. You get, a free bath or whatever, right? It has nothing to do with what you're servicing for this membership, but it's a nice VIP experience, right? Just the other day in New York, we brought in a new customer. They were on 2 different software systems, one in boarding, one a very famous one in dog walking and pet sitting. Okay, and they had quite a few membership packages set up that they had to kind of consolidate and patchwork between the 2 systems to make it work. And they had all these interesting rules. So one of them was, 15% off some kind of groom, or maybe a boarding or something like that. I'm just giving an example here. So typically a boarding might be $80 a night, but it's $50 if they book it and they happen to be a member.
Okay.
Fair enough. So this doesn't go towards the credits. Only these do. But these ones are perks as a result of them being a member with the membership called 3 times Walk Monthly membership. Fair enough? And I'm going to add it, but don't worry, I'll delete it. Okay, so you have this membership now, right? If I were to just quickly switch to your pet owner view, I love your setup, by the way. Very nicely done.
Thanks.
So right now, there's no memberships, right? But we're going to establish it. We're going to probably put it up there, okay? Because we took off the services page. We don't need it, right? There's too much going on. Let people choose various ways, maybe through boarding, for example, right? They book this way and they go straight to the booking. We can fine tune that even more to go straight into the booking experience. But what we want to do is we want to add memberships up top for now. So I switch back to the manager view, and I'm going to find memberships tab, that link. And I'm going to go to navigation because we're a fully fledged web builder, right? So we can do all kinds of interesting things. This is just one tactic, which is just to simply add the memberships. Add a membership. That's what I'm going to call it. And only clients can see it.
Okay.
Fair enough? Unless you want to make it public. Do you want people to buy it publicly?
Well, it doesn't matter because, yeah.
Just as an example. So add a membership is here. Okay. I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to see, I'm going to do another page. It's going to be my membership. So my purchase membership, because they might have one for each pet that they have. Right now, you don't have anything, you don't have any memberships purchased by any customers. That's why it looks blank like that. Just going to add a link called My Purchased Memberships, and you can always change the naming convention. Just clients see it, and you, of course. You can hide it from yourself if you want to. So we have 2. Just going to rename. I just put it as a pull-down menu up top. That's going to become a pull-down menu. I'm going to name this My Memberships. See that? So if we switch to the pet owner view, because I've hidden your services page, they need to go somewhere. So this is a pretend pet owner, and they're going to add a membership, and then they're going to add this one to cart and buy it. Okay, but obviously we're not going to do that because it requires credit card or something like your ACH. If you're a pet owner, you have to have one or both at least because it has to be paid for. Otherwise, it won't activate. Furthermore, it's asking which pets to apply to, just Hugo right now. Okay? So it would just be one charge. If I had more pets in your test pet owner here, the extra downstream fees of additional pets would apply, if that makes sense. Okay? But I'm going to teach you how to add to cart on your side if the customers just want you to do it for them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the client, or just maybe the pet, because I don't remember the name of the client. It's a test pet. Oh, it's you. Okay, you're the test client here. All right. So there you are as a test client, and all you have to do is build a person once, just the first time ever. It kickstarts. Just so I'm clear, membership, it's a prepaid concept. They pay you at the beginning of the month, and it opens up the benefits of membership. So basically, when they're booking it, they'll see that it's covered by the membership and so on and so forth. And you'll see that moving forward. But we definitely have to build them, right? Otherwise, it won't activate. And not just build them, but actually apply the fact that they paid. So what I'm going to do is, these are all examples of services that have been scheduled and done, I guess. This is a test client, so we can maybe build them, or you can delete them now, and they'll show up in the future, of course. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, I'm going to find that membership. Just start searching for it, and it pops up. See that? There's the pet. Okay, we're going to create the bill. Is that okay? Yeah. That doesn't unless you have auto charge turned on, it won't charge their credit card yet. And I can charge by credit card, okay, add a card or whatever, or I can mark it as paid. Partially, as you know, we have deposits now. Not sure if you're familiar with that, but just mark it as paid. One way or the other, just make sure it's paid. Okay, that's the most important piece. That the membership is paid means it's activated. Okay, so if I go to purchase memberships as a manager, I see that Nancy, the customer, has a membership that's been paid for and expires on the 5th month of the 31st day, which is May 31st, and it renews with additional controls that you have. But that's more interesting than that is what the client sees, okay? So either they buy it or you charge them for it. It's now activated. So far, so good? Okay. If they book their dog Hugo for a dog walk, it's already telling them that these are part of the membership.
Oh, yeah, because it has a little star. Nice.
And then they just charge, and look at this, included with membership. If it wasn't included, it would tell them the price. Even if two of them, let's say they were booking multiple dates, let's say two of them were included, but one of them wasn't, it would show those differences here in the estimator, and it also would respect it when it came to invoicing as well, in case things changed during the services. Yeah. Does that make sense? What's happened here? So now, if you have memberships established that auto-renew themselves, by the way, so you don't have to bill for items that have already been covered by the membership. Well, that just means that all you have to do is worry about, not even worry, because you know that the system tells you who owes you money, right? But at least you'll be more focused about all the extra things that people have asked for and you've done for that is outside of your regular billing schedule of memberships that people are covered by. So that's kind of the automation, right? Your thinking will be switched now to add-ons and upsells, you know, like a bath at the end of the dog walk, for example. Not saying that you do that, but I'm just giving you examples. Or, you know, maybe they purchased a product like a leash, because, you know, we do products for e-commerce, right? So that would pop up in their bill as an item that they have to still pay for, but not the stuff that's automatically removed.
Oh, wow. It's really handy.
Yes, and as long as you have it fine-tuned, I mean, we have very large operations. Some of them are like ranches, you know. They apply memberships in an entirely different way, where they have properties, you know, and people have different parts of the field. They're members for access to different parts of the field on those large properties. You know, it's very interesting that different applications of this has been used for. And so I guess that's just sort of a high level. If it's okay with you, I'm actually going to cancel that membership because it's going to auto renew. we don't need to do that, right? So I'm just going to cancel subscription for now. And now the customer will not see the covered by membership option. I'm also going to go ahead and delete that bill. So you can view the bill and refund the payment. You can partially refund, by the way, so it can just be partial. In fact, you could have charged people through different ways to make up the total amount, you know, like 2 credit cards, 1 ACH bank account, some cash, some checks. You have that power here, so it's going to give you the option to refund everything.
Wow.
And okay, and so once you've refunded it, then the membership turns off. You know, that sort of thing. Hopefully that makes sense. What happened here, and yeah, so you're good to go from that perspective in terms of the membership. I'm going to delete this one because it was just a test one, right? I don't want to sully your system.
3 walks a month for $650.
Well, it's nice, but I don't know if anyone will pay for it. And I know that you charge in Canadian, so maybe it's not so bad. Right? So, but this is, you know, I've seen 800, 850, especially in the West Coast. They charge those kind of numbers for like 4 or 5 days a week. But those are usually daycare. So, you know, daycares are using this. Dog walkers and sitters, very common. Groomers are starting to apply this too. They just like the flexibility of not even having to worry about billing. And also they get people to come back every month, because those people are paying now like a grooming membership, and maybe not every month, but you know, hopefully that makes sense. It's a nice kind of tool to get people coming back through your door on a regular basis. Versus a package which, you know, credits run out and then, you know, they don't have to do anything essentially.